What you use the term AI search. How will that be any different from a Google search? I mean, it seems like Google is AI for search. I don't understand the difference.
So normally when you would search for, say you were served divorce papers, that people would search, I just served divorce papers. What do I do? For example. And if you were a divorce lawyer, you would write a blog about that. And what would end up happening is when people search that, they would come to your website, they would read this long-winded blog, and they'd get the data points that they needed to figure out, okay, where do I go? How do I hire a lawyer? What do I look for? Now, what we have on ChatGPT or even at the top of Google, people will see now when you search questions like that could be easily answered in a couple bullet points. You're looking at the top of Google and Google says, okay, the AI just pulled the main points. You got to go here. You got to do this. And then people don't even scroll down on the page. So they don't end up coming to your website to read that blog. So you've now lost that traffic that you could potentially convert into a lead. So that's what's changing in the whole space, is that if the AI can just give me what I need on a easy basis, just give it right directly to me, why would I come to your website? And so then you're seeing now all businesses, not just lawyers, you're seeing them lose substantial amount of traffic. I mean, I got a call from one of my clients that the traffic's down 25%. I said, yeah, for everybody across the board. That's just the new normal. But it doesn't mean that those people aren't going to go anywhere. I mean, the population's not shrinking. So you then have to find new ways to connect with them. Things like Google Local, right? If you're searching in the Google Maps for a massage near you, that's not going to go away because I still need to connect you from point A to point B. But what's going to go away is using cheap content to try to generate traffic to the websites, or even just strong content, but it's just going to change in general, because if I can open ChatGPT and get the answer, I won't be on your website anytime soon.
So what's the solution then, Jordan? You've painted quite a catastrophic situation. I'm about to go and fire my SEO people. What are we going to replace it with?
It's okay. You can hire me. It's fine.
But
we'll do a better job anyways. Well, no, we were a generalized marketing agency for about 12 years. So we do take on non-legal clients, but our predominant branding is legal. Well, we work with pharmaceutical companies and Brookfield Asset Management, big companies like that. But I think what's going to be happening in that space is you're going to, what I say to people, and this is really important for people to understand, is what's going to conquer AI and what's going to help you stand out is what makes you human. Right? It's still a computer at the end of the day. So if you're writing blogs that really connect with people, talk about client stories, how you built your business, maybe your family, that's not something that an AI can replicate. So we want to lean into that. And then we want to also do things like when we're optimizing our SEO, we want to optimize it for voice search, because a lot of the searches will now be voice. We want to make sure that...
How is that any different from normal search? I mean, voice search, they translate it into a word and then search for dictionary store, right? I don't understand how voice makes any difference. That's translated into text, isn't it?
Because when you pose a voice search, you do it more as a long formed question, right? Before, when you're doing keywords, you're just searching like, let's say personal jeweler in Miami. I'll use that example. Now, if you're searching like, hey, where can I find this? How do I know how to do this? You start to basically form your SEO around how people would actually search on these apps. And then you do also things like you don't use certain characters, you don't use certain spacing, because what you want to do is have the AI, whether it's Claude, ChatGPT, or whatnot, connect like a human, right? So it's saying, oh, that sounds like something that someone would search. I think I'm going to give you this law firm as an example of something. So the people that are going to do that are going to be way ahead moving forward. And then also things like tagging your images, tagging your videos, doing things that so basically it can find you. And the biggest thing I would say for anyone, I was able to generate easily about $1 million more in revenue for my client in about 3 months by optimizing the Google local page. That is not going away anytime soon. That's what shows up in your Google business. When we look for our local grocery store, stuff like that, you'd be amazed, Jim, at the amount of people that do not optimize that page. And it is inexpensive to do. And the traffic's already there. And they just don't think to update it, put new content, put new photos up. It's amazing to me.